It's never too soon to begin building your wealth and planning for success. Your 20s are the ideal time, although it can be challenging to know where to begin. To help you start on the right track, we've put together this list of 7 smart ways to build wealth in your 20s that you can put into action today. Hey there, welcome to the Daytime Dollar, where we talk about financial strategies and how small changes can make significant improvements. If you are new here, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon. Today, we are talking about smart steps to increase your wealth. So let's get into it. 1. Boost your retirement contributions. Maxing out your retirement contributions is like finding the money you forgot is there. Every dollar you put into a retirement account like a 401k or Roth individual retirement account grows with compound interest and is tax-free until you begin to make withdrawals. According to Merrill, a 25-year-old who invests just $75 each month could have more than $263,000 by the age of 65, assuming an 8% rate of return. 2. Trim your expenses. Reducing your expenses isn't always fun, but it can be a very effective way to increase your net worth. One way to reduce expenses is by using budgeting software or an app. Focusing on the big 3 of housing, transportation, and food can be a highly effective way to save money. Reducing your housing costs isn't always an option, particularly if you have a family that is part of the equation. However, reducing your transportation and food costs can be more realistic. For instance, buying food in bulk and eating out less often can save you hundreds of dollars a month. 3. Pay off high-interest debt. High-interest debt can severely limit your ability to increase your net worth. That is exactly the issue for millions of Americans, who collectively have more than $1 trillion in personal loans plus credit card debt. Paying these balances down isn't easy, but it's a must if you want to increase your net worth. If you have significant debt with interest rates higher than 10% annually, you don't necessarily have to pay it off all at once. However, with credit cards, for example, paying just the minimum will ensure you stay in debt for years to come and pay thousands of dollars in interest. First, focus on paying whenever you can above the minimum payment. Doing so will reduce the interest you owe, which can lead to a domino effect. You can also use a debt snowball or debt avalanche method to pay off your debt. 4. Save for emergencies. Having an emergency fund can help you grow your net worth, albeit somewhat indirectly. For instance, you might build up $5,000 in an emergency fund over a few years, but it's not that $5,000 increase to your net worth that makes the difference. The biggest benefit is being able to avoid that high-interest debt mentioned earlier. You never know when you will have to replace your refrigerator or make an unexpected visit to the emergency room. Without an emergency fund, you could be forced to put these expenses on credit cards or take on other forms of high-interest debt. That can lead to a vicious cycle of never-ending interest payments, putting a significant drag on your net worth. Having an emergency fund helps you avoid that cycle, which will help you increase your net worth. 5. Renegotiate loans. Renegotiating or consolidating your loans can save you a lot of money in the long run. You may have gotten stuck with a higher interest rate when you first took out the loan, perhaps because you had bad credit or no credit. But if you have been consistently making your payments on time or your credit score has improved, you might be able to refinance your loans for a lower rate. Keep in mind that this isn't always the best way to go. For instance, one way to refinance federal student loans is with a private lender. However, that could lead to giving up certain consumer protections, so refinancing may not be your best option. Whether refinancing is your best option depends on your unique set of circumstances. 6. Keep your cars for as long as possible. If you are like most Americans, you probably live in an area where driving is a daily necessity. Hence, owning a car is a must. But cars are a depreciating asset. You've probably heard that cars lose 10% of their value the moment you drive off the dealer's lot. That could be an exaggeration, but they indeed tend to lose more than 10% of their value in their first month, according to data from Carfax. In other words, if you buy new cars every few years, you are constantly at the mercy of rapid depreciation. Keeping cars longer helps you fight that cycle. Of course, all cars only have so much useful life. At a certain point, they become more expensive to maintain than the money you save by avoiding excessive depreciation. It can be difficult to know exactly when that point is, but if you are making costly repairs like replacing the transmission, it might be time to consider a new vehicle. 7. Increase your salary. Increasing your salary is easier said than done, especially if the job market where you live isn't the strongest. However, if you want to increase your net worth, there is only so much optimizing you can do with your finances. If you have already done everything else mentioned on this list, increasing your earnings might be the best way to grow your net worth. But you don't necessarily have to pick up a side hustle or even change jobs to increase your salary. The first thing you can do is ask for a promotion at your current job if that is a possibility. There are many ways to build a case for yourself. You can cite specific wins you've had at your job over the past year. You can also research salary ranges for your job in the region where you live. Lastly, you can learn a new skill or earn industry certifications to further boost your value. Bottom line, increasing your net worth can seem challenging, but doesn't have to be. If you follow the steps mentioned here, you may find that saving money becomes easier than you expected. And when you calculate your net worth, that number could be far higher than you ever thought possible. So guys, that's all about today's topic. See you soon in the next video. Goodbye.